starting next year, you mentioned a lot of people are waiting, they're going to wait until spring. Now that's when a lot of self-employed people file their taxes during that time, February, March, April, during those months. We have all kinds of loan products now in the market, because there are very wealthy people out there where they're willing to lend money, because the rates are high. You have to think that it's also going to make them money. So they have come out with these products, which are 30-year fixed mortgages. They're not any kind of there's a catch or anything like that. It's just a little bit higher rate than a traditional mortgage. But if you're self-employed, they will look at your bank statements, business bank statements every month, see how much money your business is bringing in, and consider that income rather than looking at your taxes where you're having to do all of these write-offs and it brings your net income lower. So we have those products. We have products where you can go stated. If you want to put a more down payment, 25% down, you can do stated income. But please keep in mind, you are putting a lot of money down so that their money is secure with you. We got VOE only programs where you have an arrangement with your employer. You're bringing certain money in. However, for whatever reason, you're not able to show that on your W-2, or you don't have a W-2, or any of those situations. If your employer is willing to give you a verification of employment, they will do a loan based off of that. FHA loan products where they're considering your non-traditional credit. This is going to be very, very important for people where you worked at a restaurant during COVID. You fell behind on your payments, your credit card payments or car payments or whatever. They're willing to overlook all that stuff if you're able to provide last 12 months rental history that you've been making your rent payments on time. That's very important. That kind of stuff will get you back on track. If you're able to get a mortgage, your credit automatically goes up as soon as the mortgage is reported on your credit. So FHA is being very, very lenient in terms of credit. Some of the lenders don't even have like a minimum credit score requirements. Some of them can go as low as 550 in your FICO score. New graduate programs. You're going to graduate from college this year. You're going to help your parents or co-sign on a mortgage, or you're going to go buy a property for yourself. All you need is an offer letter from a company that you're starting on a certain date, and we can fund the loan on that. I see in my community, I see a lot of people where they have kind of like a dual citizenship. They live in Canada and they have business in America. We are able to get financing with 20% down for all foreign national. Canada's market has always been way higher than the US. I have noticed that a lot of people prefer having properties here. So that's like a great opportunity because you're able to finance it. Back in the days, you all had to buy the property cash, I would encourage everybody who is planning to buy, for example, you said in 2023, that towards the end of this year or January, you start going over your income, your financial statements, and come up with the plan for financing. That how are you going to get the financing done for the property you're planning to purchase, rather than focusing all of your energy on that there's going to be some miracle that all properties are just going to come 100, 200,000 lower, because I have heard that from people. I just simply don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. So rather than hoping for some kind of unrealistic, situation, my advice to people is to embrace what's going on, embrace the reality of the market, and prepare yourself in that way. That's more productive than just sitting there and just waiting and thinking that everybody's just going to like take 100, 200 off of their their homes and just sell them for, I don't know, free or something. No, that's not going to happen. I don't see that happening. People have invested a lot of money in this market. Nobody's letting their homes go into foreclosure like that. Maybe, and the ones that do go, the auctions that we have seen, because there were some real situations with people went through, during the pandemic, where they actually lost their businesses or stuff like that. Those properties are getting outbidded left and right, where the trustee sales happen, and everybody's buying them cash. How is that beneficial to first-time home buyers? People are walking there with $1 million checks and buying those properties. And again, though, that's investor stuff. That's like, that's when you're buying everything cash. That doesn't apply to people that I work with, which are first-time home buyers. I don't even look at auctions, because it's not like I'm going to go walk into a county office and buy a property cash, So to me, that news is irrelevant. That information, that data doesn't apply to me.
Preeti, I'm noticing a lot of people, particularly the older generation, we call them the baby boomers, and they're at their older age and they're passing away, and they have a huge sum of wealth. There's a huge transfer of wealth that is going currently within the next 20 years, and they're passing on their wealth to their kids, huge fortunes. In fact, I work with quite a bit of clients from New York, from these higher end cities, San Diego, LA, and they're coming across with these huge fortunes, and they don't know what to do with them, and they will have to and in order for them to not pay that much taxes, they'll have to buy properties that they can write off completely. That would be another stimulant, and in fact that is currently happening right now as I speak, because I am getting a lot of clients that are calling me because they just inherited quite a bit of wealth. And that's another reason why I don't think, long term there's not going to be anything like scary, but yeah, no, those are really good points, Preeti. I really appreciate everything that you talked about today. If you guys are watching this, feel free to reach out to her and just have a conversation going. That's the most important thing, is just get that conversation going. You never know what the future holds, but if you have certain people in your life that can help guide you to get to point A to point B faster, all it takes is just talking to somebody. Do it. It's free. It doesn't cost you guys anything to talk to Preeti or myself or anybody, but do make sure to listen to the people who know what they're doing and who has information and who have resources that can help you save quite a bit of money. And vet them out. Ask them these tough questions. Ask them, send them your videos, right? So send them like information, test them, and then planned. That's the most important thing. So anyways, I want to close this out by thanking you, Preeti. Your insight is next to none. I'm just blown away by just the wealth of knowledge in terms of the whole economy, and your background and your career profession and your choices to you're a true inspiration. And I think that you need to speak more and educate more people about this process, because your voice needs to be heard in terms of your insight. So thank you for that.
Thank you, James. Thank you. It was a pleasure discussing this and breaking and getting back to the basic level. And this is I'm not scared, and I think that all this is just basically, it's an opportunity to learn and educate ourselves, and I have a feeling that this is just one of those situations where we're gonna look back and think that, oh, remember, this is what happened. Just like how I'm thinking about 2008, 2009, but not as dramatic as it was back then. However, I think this is like a market correction and more opportunity. And I keep repeating this, that This was the only way for first-time homebuyers to get a fair chance at owning something and become property owners, and kind of like put all of the crazy cash offers and the investors or that were just basically competing with the normal buyers and regular buyers, and this was the only way to stop them, and they have kind of like calmed down a little bit. They're very active, as I mentioned, in auctions and trustee sales and all that, but this is the time for our people to start getting properties and start building wealth for their generations to come.
Beautiful. Awesome. But I do agree.
Thank you, James. Thanks.